Okay, if you're just joining us, I had to move the stream over real quick. I'm just moving and migrating data over, and I will be right here. In the meantime, enjoy the Sleeping Kitty. Welcome back again. Yeah, this one seems to be working better. I have no idea why, but my internet here usually streams me at 3.6 to 3.8K, and it was running at 0.1K. Like, yeah, that's not going to do for a live stream. So I had to reset it. I have no idea why. I don't know if it was OBS was just being goofy or whatever else. But then with YouTube, I can't go back in and add the same thing back in. So I'm going to fix the thumbnail and redo the tags later. Now I have to remember how to use this one here. Like, usually I'm so used to the oh boy, the program once, and now of course I had to drop all of the articles I was trying to do, and so I closed those out just in case it was the recent. Let me see if I can just restore the last. Kind of depends on how I have my system set up. Yeah, I cannot restore the previous session. So the topic for the first part today is, should preteens have smartphones? My iPhone 6 broke. I'm getting an oldish Samsung Note S2. My computer doesn't handle live streams well. Oh man, bummer, man. I wanted to pick a uniform on here because I knew he was he would probably have some commentary to say on this topic. So let me know in the comments first. What is your thoughts? Should preteens be able to own a cell phone? That's the first question. And the second question is, should the government regulate such a thing? And I'm looking for, I don't even know why I'm on Consumerist right now because the article's not even on there. Okay. Well, I wanted to go ahead and use an article, and I thought initially maybe the article was the thing that was getting in the way, but basically, in Colorado, there is this doctor who's like, I saw that when my kid got a cell phone, he became a recluse, literally like locked himself in the room and wouldn't come out, and all he was doing is playing on a smartphone. So I want to ban smartphones for preteens across the whole nation. Make it a law. That's his idea. So he ends up producing a organization. I'll tell you about that in a few minutes. Let me see, check in on the comments here. We're a few minutes behind because of that internet hiccupy thingy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Hello, Octo. Hello, Dylan M. Hello, Mark. How are you? Emergency on prepaid, fully monitored plan. For the purposes of emergency on a prepaid, fully monitored plan. Well, what about just giving them a cell phone, a basic cell phone that's not a smartphone? Because the article specifically is smartphones. What about this? Let's see. Off my phone and now on the computer. Okay. Perfectly fine. Take your time. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate the flexibility here. All right. Let's see. That was a bad start. Yes, it was. It's so sad. I liked my thumbnail and everything. I'll have to upload the thumbnail to it later and take the old video offline and all that kind of stuff. I did a second. If you missed it, by the way, I was one day I was getting ready to prep a video, and I actually pushed the stream button instead of the start recording button, and it recorded a 1 second video, and that 1 second video has 100 views. I couldn't bear myself to delete it, so I just hit it. It's kind of funny. Let's see. Dial-up streaming. Yeah, that's what we were shooting for. We were shooting for dial-up streaming. PC are you using? I was kind of mixed on this one. All right. I have a iPod. Hold on. Hey, welcome back, Pig Uniform. All right. I thought you had the iPhone 8, man. I mean, come on. Probably under COPPA, so we can look at that. The Children's Online Protection, Privacy Protection Act, which, of course, we talked about before. A lot of companies are getting around that silly thing. Let's see. If you want to keep an eye on where about your child is, then yes, that's a good, valid point. Like, I hate the fact that these things have locations, but it's a really good thing if I'm a parent to have location turned on to this thing. I know where my kid is. Woohoo! Of course, with the iPhones now, starting in iOS, maybe iOS 9, but I know starting in iOS 10, you can remotely enable the location tracking. It's kind of scary. So I could set this up as a parent with an iPhone. I could have location data turned off, but if my kid is late for school or something, or like late coming home, I don't know where he is, or whatever else, or he gets in some type of trouble and needs help, I can remotely on an iPhone with the account remotely turn this on through iCloud. Turn on location tracking. So that's a neat function that kind of is the best of all the worlds, where I don't have to have it perpetually on so companies and whoever else are collecting data, but I can turn it on should I need to figure out the location of my minor child. So that is certainly a valid point. And in that case, now the cell phone has become a protection thing, unless we want to put GPS trackers embedded in our children like we do our pets, like, here's your tracker Rover, here's your tracker Bobby, I mean, possibly with restrictions. And that's the thing, Android, I know Android has its degree of children things, but, there's a lot of restricted modes. I can do a lot of neat restricted things on this cell phone. I can do a ton of them. A lot of people don't know what the restriction modes are, and that's pretty easy. Let's see. Banning things makes it worse. Yes, it will. Once you start banning it, now because we're walking around with 2 smartphones, like the prohibition, So, let's see. I'm not one of those crabby preteens. At least I use mine properly, like checking things. See? And that kind of gets down to the bottom of it, is that maturity level. Are you using your phone maturely or not? So we have to address that question. A parent got mad at their kid because they would rather give their kids something to shut them up rather than talk to them. What else is new? Yeah, nothing. It's mine either for testing or just for web browsing. Hi, Bon Hambley, how are you? I don't think it matters so long as the parents are parents. That's the key functional point there. Are the parents the parents? This guy's having this hissy fit because his 12-year-old child gets a phone and then he runs off in the room and is a recluse for a while, and they can't get the kid out of the phone until he develops psychological problems. The kid ain't the problem. It's the parents the problem. Because you know what? I have the full ability on all these phones, like, get out of the room. I'm going to get out of my room. All right. I can call on, if you're on Verizon, *611. Hello, customer service. Suspend the phone with this phone number. Yep. My phone doesn't work anymore. Why don't you shut my phone down? Me, I hate you. Yeah, that's a sign of bad parenting, not a bad kid. Okay? Bad parenting, not a bad kid. Make a fun experience for them, but just have clear rules, and they don't abide by them, they will go to a basic phone. There you go. I agree. It's easy to hand a kid a phone or an iPad and then show them and teach them the world. That's the thing. iPod is jailbroken. You jailbreak your iPod. Sweet. Android is rooted. Sweet. Yeah. I have 3 Android phones with 0 Google garbage, mainly removed using root. Old Kindle was rooted. Sweet. Okay. Parenting is extremely hard. You're dealing with an underdeveloped brain that can't reason yet. Mark, are you talking about the adult or the child? I'm just unclear about this. I'm following the news. I'm going, what makes adults who've gone through puberty do this? I just don't know. So are you talking about the child not having the underdeveloped brain or the adult? I'm not sure. Can preteens own things? There's another fun question. The actual legal answer is no, a preteen can't own something. I can buy this iPhone for me, I can buy this iPhone for my kid, but still, if there's an illegal activity that happens on this phone, guess who's liable for that illegal activity? Me. So yeah, good call on that. Is it Neville Goddard? Can preteens own things? The answer is no. Even if a kid goes out who is a minor, a 17-year-old goes out, has his own job, gets his paycheck, guess what? That paycheck is his parents' paycheck, not his paycheck, unless he's emancipated. According to the law. This is according to the law. Now, if you happen to find a parent out there who is that jerk who does steal their kids' money for the mere sake of stealing their kids' money, man, we have other issues. You know, they might be part of like Daddy 05 family or something. I don't know. Yeah, I had to get that one in. But regardless, yeah, a preteen can't legally own something. Everything the preteen owns legally belongs to the adults. You just have to be clear and fun. Education, school purposes these days make sense. Yeah, what about the fact that a lot of schools are requiring iPads for use for educational programs? Well, now we're back to the same problem: screens and computers and kids, and the education system is moving moving them along in the same direction. I'm gonna have a seizure with that website. I'm gonna show you their website here in a minute, but it's about to give me a seizure. They need a new web designer. Oh boy, I saw a kid on my bus who used 117 gigabytes only on Instagram data. Yeah, that's scary. I don't even know how that's feasibly possible. Doing well, by the way. Hope you are as well. I am. Now that the stream's working, yes, I'm doing fine. All right, another point. Some kids are using smartphones as a creative tool. Some young photographers are developing with the use of smartphones. Yeah, actually, a friend of mine has an issue with that. He has photography in the family business, and they're bummed out that everyone has these smartphones. And here's the funny thing, right? Like, if you looked at the thumbnail for the one that was supposed to be the live stream, I tried first taking the picture with this camera. It didn't really work. So I finally used the other camera, which works and is a good camera, but this still takes better pictures than my camera. Go figure. Whatever. Oh, boy. Make my own rules. I'm just a kid. I don't care. Are you under the 13-year-old range where you would be prevented from having a smartphone, or are you in the teenage range that they're apparently saying is perfectly okay because, teenagers, hey, they can drive, why not have a smartphone too, right? Okay, I had tech growing up, but I also went with my family. If you can give a child that, it'd be okay. Kids have a lot of reason and caution. Yeah. Old Kindle was bricked by installing corrupted ROM from XDA. The child. Oh, okay. You're talking about the child. All right. So that was the one above. Yeah, dealing with an unreasoned mind. Yeah. Okay. 16 here. All right. Minor present. All right. That's when I started working. 15 here. Minor present. Yep. So we have a couple people that, even if you're not under that age, I think I know of one person on the stream I know for sure would qualify as this. If this law were passed today, you're done. No more smartphone for you. Other people, you're just a year or two away from that. And so that's why it's interesting to get your perspectives as well. Let's see. Still went to school, didn't have a problem. Okay. Go to the most amazing website on the internet.com for seizures. Yeah, maybe we'll compare that one too. Is this? I've seen a few of these most amazing internet websites. They're pretty fun. Let me see which one's worse. The difference is one of them's trying to be bad. Oh yeah, got some tunes. Oh yeah, that's seizure material right there. I don't want to play that on the screen, man. Let's give somebody a seizure, then I'll get sued for $1 million or something. I'll make most of my phones with my smart devices. 1999 kind of website. No. 1999, they didn't have all those fancy things, man. Don't forget that smartphones make teens dumb. My brother deletes photos he doesn't want us to see. Doesn't release that they are dropped in recently deleted. Whoops. Forgot about that. Not even sure why my profile picture is to be in. I'm not even using it. I don't know. I thought you were Arch last time I saw it. It's a boneheaded law. Love that website. All right. Mainly teenagers who are building 3D printers. All websites nowadays can give you a seizure. That's what I call a website. That's a website. Yeah. All right. So, what we're going to do is we're going to have a quick look here. The article, the original article comes from the Coloradoan or whatever that's called, out of Denver-ish. But we're not going to bother going to the article. We're just going to go right to the source of the thing. We are going to go over... There it is. It's like, my website thing wasn't working. All right. So we're going to have a look at these guys' websites. Let me know if this background causes background noise, because I've never tried this one with the live, and some of my backgrounds cause issues. So this is their website. Their organization is called Parents Against Underage Smartphones. And I'm not sure if this is a joke or if this is for real. I just don't know. I can tell you this. As a web developer, their website is horrid. I mean, this is like... Oh, it makes me cringe. I mean, look at this. Look at this gap. Oh! And then these guys here, these images are just jumping over. And if you're supposed to read all these things, I can't read all these things this fast. Like, I didn't know what that last one said. The damage continues 6 to 12-year-old period. Yeah, that's the only time your brain can be damaged by a smartphone, between 6 and 12. Addiction takes root, physical damage. Like, what did that say? Addiction takes root, physical damage, stunted social, emotional, cognitive development. What am I, the Micro Machine Man? Bullying is not what you're very tough. I still can't read that fast. Bullying, which is not a very apt term for a shattered sense of self-worth than a previously happy little boy or girl. Boys are introduced to gaming and lose interest in sports or physical activity. And then it happens. Some studies suggest almost 50% of children as young as 8 have seen a hardcore... I'm not going to say that word. I might get banned. An estimated that 80% of males, 12 to 17, are... All right. Jeez. And then how about varying your pictures? Okay. So, I mean, we're going to gripe about all the ugliness on the website, and then we're going to address the things on the page. That's kind of what we're going to do here. So, like, okay, whatever. Like, okay, this color, blue on blue, is not a good color for text. These buttons were vomited. Like, I was looking at this website, and I got a phone call, and it was the 90s, and they wanted their buttons back. Okay. Let's see. Next meeting. Let's see. Bring 2 friends. Saturday, June 24th. We ask you to bring 2 friends. So yeah, again, blue on blue, and then we got, those are bright colors. All right, so of course this website is their basic information here about this. Of course, it's pretty god awful. Let's see. I have websites, love and hate those too. Been critiquing websites so long, development just makes sense for me. Okay, I saw a website complaining about advertisements when 5 advertisements popped on there while I was... That's funny. Still self-learning stuff on WordPress. You know, I plan on doing some WordPress tutorials very, very soon. I think that the sooner I do it, the less time I have to spend doing them for my client, because it's like I keep on doing these ones specific to their sites. I'm like, I just need to do generic WordPress websites and say, check it out. All right. Okay, the logo is on a white background. Yeah, I missed that. Yeah, if you see that logo there, it's a... Just watch that thing's a ping that's not transparent. View image info. They're using a ping, which you use for transparency, but it's not a transparent ping. That's funny. It's hilarious. Okay, I missed that one. These back in my days, we had an X. Therefore, kids nowadays shouldn't have an X. Types of groups. Yeah, you know what I thought of immediately is Women's Temperance League. That's exactly what I thought of here. We are bad parents. We can't keep our kids away from smartphones, so no one in the whole country should be able to have smartphones if they're under 13. That's what I thought. Of course, I'm tipping my hand too much. I do want to have a slightly balanced discussion. You can see what I mean, though, by this thing's like, kind of like this flashing so fast. It's like, let's see. Very ugly. I wish everyone was forced to code by hand or not have a job. Did they use MS Paint on their slide images? I'm thinking so. Yeah, I'm going with MS Paint. Yep. First, I thought there's no way that this isn't satire. Then I remember the purpose of their organization, and now I understand. Quick answer: no. Oh, I like your icon there, Tish. That's cool. Except it's looking at me. It's kind of scary. A+ for software graphics. All right, you guys apparently are colorblind. I think so. First few pages I coded by hand were custom. My buddy Justin said it looked like something in the 1990s. At least use paint.net. Shouldn't drink while the live streams are on. Written by social justice warriors. Is there a distro I can put on a tablet? I don't know. Other people distros for tablets. I mean, if it's an x86 tablet, like some of these newer ones with the detachable keyboards, I'd probably try like an Ubuntu or something. All right, let's have a look at our About Us section. All right, got to complain about the website build first. Like, what is this color on this blue? And then here's their board of directors. Here's the actual founder. And then look at all this gap. Ooh. Oh, this is GoDaddy.com certified website. And then their copyright line is on 2 lines. Of course, that clarifies it all for me. They're using GoDaddy's website tonight or something. All right. So, of course, they are parents, grandparents, concerned citizens against the destructive force of easy, nonstop internet access for children disguised as progress. Sounds like a bad novel. We are willing to stand up and say that we all know in our hearts that children do not need smartphones. We do not need smartphones, children. It's very little benefit, but so much to be lost. For the children! We are not anti-tech. In fact, there's some evidence that video games can be beneficial in certain circumstances, and heaven knows there's a great thing for the family to be able to watch videos on long cross-country car trips. Like, that's a pet peeve of mine. Like, long cross-country car trips. No, that's a time to say, let's have a screen-free time, people. That's a good time for a screen-free time. Young prodigies like Zuckerberg need to have access to a safe internet. What? Young prodigies like Zuckerberg. Okay, Zuckerberg's in his 20s by now. Maybe pushing close to 30s. Isn't he close to 30s now? Yeah, Zuckerberg's done. I don't understand. There are many other examples of benefits, but what we as parents have seen firsthand played out over and over is that the changes in our own children after being given handheld internet devices is different than just having an Xbox or a family desktop. The continuous use of these devices is extremely detrimental to children. We see it and we intend to put a stop to it. If you're under 13, you're watching the stream, turn off your phone right now. All of your mobile devices with screens, you're done. All right. Currently, parents are supposed to do everything, and manufacturers, content and service providers, basically everyone in the whole industry gets a free pass. Parents are somehow supposed to be up to date on current recommendations on usage from experts. Enforcers, you do not need an expert, people. Where's my fire? Where's my fire? I need my fire. Where's my fire? Where's my fire? All right, where's my fire? Okay, listen, you do not need to consult an expert to know that if your child has been given a phone and has locked himself in his bedroom, he needs to be taking the phone away. This is not, you do not need to consult an expert. In fact, from a nutritional perspective, watch the video by Tom Naughton, Diet, Health, and the Wisdom of Crowds, and it will make you perpetually forever ask, Why am I listening to experts to begin with? We do not need an expert to realize this stuff. We do not need some idiot to hold our hand as parents and sit down and go, no. We have to be parents to our children. Parents to our children. Which means knowing if the child is mature enough to have a smartphone or not mature enough to have a smartphone. I mentor a young man right now who is very mature with a smartphone. And his older brother is getting more mature with a smartphone. But you see that whole balance going on, that age does not have much to do with your responsibility. There's a whole lot more into it. And we don't need an expert to say, your kid should have 1 hour of screen time and no more than that. No, I was going to go grab my lab coat, but I'm not going to. Oh, boy. Guard their children everywhere they go. This is not only unfair, it's altogether impossible given the saturation of our children's environment. And that's the thing is, we cannot possibly put our kids in a little protective bubble. We can't do that. But what we can do is teach them the values of right and wrong, and teach them the values, and then gauge the maturity and be intentional about what we are giving them. And when they have proven to us that they can handle the responsibility, they can have a phone. But when they disprove to us the ability to handle that, they can have that phone taken away. That is what we need to be looking at, not laws and regulations, because that's their entire purpose. Their entire purpose is to push laws. So they have gotten approval to put on the ballot in November 2018 in Colorado to have the state vote on this. Now, of course, that is one of the 2 first states that voted recreational marijuana use, so maybe all the parents will just be stoned out. I don't know, man, may as well, and it's just like, like I don't know how Colorado got to be how Colorado is, other than the fact that Denver wags the state. Which is this crazy liberal progressivism of psychopathicity. And I can say that because I lived around in the Colorado area and I liked visiting Colorado, but I wouldn't want to live there because the one little city, which is little compared to the rest of the state, wags the whole state, and the whole rest of the state just wishes that Denver would go elsewhere. It's kind of like us here in Pennsylvania. It's like Philadelphia. Why don't y'all just join New Jersey? You're politically aligned and you smell the same. Okay, I'm not to offend you if you're from New Jersey, but the fact is that Philadelphia is quite a bit different in its philosophy than most of the rest of Pennsylvania, outside of maybe inner city Pittsburgh and inner city Erie. But, it's just like, when these big urban areas wag the rest of the state, that's where a lot of the problems come into play. So they have already gotten the approval now. Now they need, is it like 200,000 or 500,000 signatures? Basically what they're trying to do is issue this law. So is there kind of like their FAQ type thing. Does this measure make it illegal for a child to own a smartphone? No, the measure states it is illegal to sell a smartphone to a person under 13. Neither parents nor children could possibly break any law if passed. Then what is the point? Excuse me. I need a coffee break. My brain hurts from reading all this. All right. I have never really seen a kid under 13 save up $200, $300, $400, walk into a store without parental consent and lay it down and get a phone. And they wouldn't be able to because guess what's involved? A contract, which a minor is not legally able to do. So no, this measure states that it is illegal to sell a smartphone to a person under 13. Well, a person under 13 can't buy one. Neither parents nor children could possibly break a law. Will they be confiscated? No, nothing of the sort, yet. Diet, Health, Wisdom of Crowds. Is that the one? I think that is also the one where he talks about the vision of the anointed. You have got to watch that video. It's on YouTube, last I knew, and it is by Tom Naughton, and it's called Diet, Health, and the Wisdom of Crowds. It will make you question a whole lot of neat stuff, and it is one of the best videos I've ever seen. All right, so their plan is, we want to stop all this problems with young people having smartphones. And so right now, their plan is, we're going to make it illegal to sell a smartphone to somebody under 13, which makes no sense to me because, they're like every single time I've seen somebody buy one of these phones, it's the parent goes in with the kid to buy the phone for them. Okay? But it's going to get better. We're going to get into this more, and if they don't mention it, I'll tell you what their little twisty catch is here. But in the wisdom of the anointed, their grand plan is to solve the problem. But what they're going to see is that this doesn't go too far because people are still buying the smartphones for their younger kids under 13. And then what's going to happen here is that they're going to look at it and go, it hasn't solved the problem. So now we're going to make it illegal for a 13-year-old to have a smartphone. That will be the next thing. Because the experts say kids are having too much time in front of phones. And so it will become this giant thing where their grand plan did not go far enough. Can I still buy my child a phone for safety? Yes, this measure only covers smartphones. You may buy a phone for your child, but it may not be a smartphone. It says specifically that good old-fashioned cellular phones with voice, GPS, and yes, even texting are not included. Is there a phone with a standard GPS? Like, almost all phones will have your location tracking for E911. But, like, I have this phone. I do not believe this phone has a GPS. In fact, even many smartphones do not even have a GPS. Is there a basic flip phone that has a GPS? I'm curious about that. Anybody know? Why do we need this measure? The Wild West free for all that we have done now has left parents with little clear direction and has caused incalculable damage to children. The American Academy of Pediatricians came out in 2000 with their recommendations, reaffirmed them in 2012, and yet parents are unaware that children continue to be harmed. No, the parents that actually pay attention to the psyches of their children and can identify when something's wrong with their children, they have noticed something. And I find that it's shocking. I was having lunch with a gentleman not too long ago, and his son is like 16. He's like, I want to get my son his first smartphone now. Like 16, like which type of phone is the easiest to lock down? Which type of phone is the easiest? I'm like, yeah, that's called a parent. Okay, that's called a parent. Okay, but if you get the kid the phone because the one-eyed babysitter has been watching her child since he was 4 or 5 years old, trust me, the smartphone's not going to be an extra impediment to the kid's brain. He's already gone. Okay, so we got this wild, wild west. What makes you an authority? We are parents. The proposed measure was drafted by parents. I'm not going to even talk about the implications of that statement. That right there is a post hoc propter ergo hoc logical fallacy, had I ever seen one, and it will be voted on by parents. Oh yeah, okay. The science behind it is clear and compelling. Consider who is funding any authorities that would be in opposition. Isn't it a parent's right to decide? It absolutely is the parent's right to choose how to raise their child. But it's also our American parents' right to form an alliance together and try to make manufacturers and service providers accountable for the mess they have created. Further, we see this an issue in the same light as alcohol. It is a parent's right to give a child a small glass of wine with dinner. Yes, but in almost every state, that's still illegal. But it is not acceptable to have children walk into liquor stores and purchase alcohol, nor is it acceptable for parents to get their children drunk. Okay, yeah, okay, there is a logical fallacy. We're going to compare it to alcohol because, of course, alcohol is, Okay. Let's have a look at some comments here. We got comments coming in all over, and I haven't... All right, let's see. Do I have a marker where I was? Hey, I did. Look at that. Shouldn't drink while you make a website. Paint.net isn't half bad. Really, the text color is awful. Yes, guy's a good mate. Or is this guy's a good mate? Ooh. There's UV ports and Plasma Mobile, but can't honestly recommend them. Okay. GoDaddy is trash. GoDaddy never sounded right to me. Should have gotten better web developer rather than ask the local computer whiz. Yeah, I have a seminar buried around in my archives somewhere, and the seminar is entitled "Don't Hire Your High School Kid for Building Your Website." GoDaddy goes in the trash. GoDaddy is basically the Norton of the internet. What does a safe internet have to do with a smartphone? I don't know, because like, watch this. This is like totally amazing. I know this defeats the mind and the craziness and the purpose, but if I come over here into where is it? I think it's under general restrictions. I have to enter my super secret code. Whoa! I can turn off my web browser so I can turn off about everything here. I can download the specific apps that I allow you to have. I can turn on or turn off the various apps, and then I can make it so that you can't buy things, you can't get on the internet, you can't get around that without the special PIN, which is different from the access. Like, okay, all of their arguments have already been addressed by the cell phone companies. If me as a parent is a good parent and I want to monitor what my child does, or I want to restrict what my child does with the cell phone, I have the ability with the current technology to do that. Oh boy. Well, he switched. Have you heard of NeoCities? I've heard of GeoCities. Used to have a website there. NeoCities I have not. Is that the new GeoCities? Written by SJWs, they want the internet to be a safe place. Good luck. Mark Zuckerberg is a dictator. I didn't elect him. Computer died. Bummer. Oh, that's right. That's Ryan, right? Octo-O. That's Ryan, right? Hey, yep. I'm on fire. Yeah. Smartphone didn't exist. Hold on while they're blaming the entire internet of smartphones. Wow, these people really have no clue about technology. No, not at all. They're clueless. Used to break into boxcars. Local area when I was 10, 1960. Don't do that. We'd still have mobile phones. Kids wouldn't have Snapchat. See, if they did not have Snapchat, they could not get their job at McDonald's. I mean, this is horrible. Philly guy here. Sorry, Philly guy. Didn't mean to offend you. Let's see. Brain hurts from looking at this website. Yeah, it does. I'm sorry. Look at the website. It's just painful. It's a better website. How are they going to determine the difference between a smartphone and a regular phone? How are they going to enforce this? Have they ever thought about this? Probably not. Article lacks logic, Mr. Spock. Yes. They're basically virtue signaling. They are trying to make themselves look good at what they are proposing as dead in the water. Yep. Slaws are scams sold to the public, promising if you donate to the government, will protect you. Profile picture is back to the arch one. May have to refresh. Yeah, that's interesting. It still looks like to be in. As the ball rolls, nothing to stop. Groupthink is bad for America. Most people are yes men and women, though. Very small segment of the population are true leaders. Yeah, and despite all of these leadership courses, like all these leadership programs, it's just like, leadership. Like everywhere I turn around, it's like, leadership. We're building leadership. This is about leadership. This is about leadership. We're still certainly lacking leaders for all these leadership courses running around. Leadership is not going off and helping do something. That's not leadership, trust me. I don't know if my flip phone has GPS. Based on what I've seen so far, they probably think smartphone is the same thing as a phone that can connect to the internet. My picture changed? No, I'm still seeing the BN picture there, Piggy uniform. I don't see it. This law proposal has nothing to do about children. It's about parents who cannot control their own children's use of a computer device. Laws, okay. Can be a tool if you want it to be such a way. Basically, flip phones and smartphones, and yes, few flip phones have crappy browsers. Actually, I think this has a text browser on it. I remember something about that. I think I can actually get on the internet with it now. I don't know. Did they just say that anyone who disagrees with them shouldn't be considered an authority? Yeah. Daughter uses a smartphone. You ever watch Shameless? There are a lot of families like that, and these social justice warriors don't offer any real solutions. I have not watched Shameless. Is that a movie, a TV show, a series? What is it? Cannot figure out why suddenly we should have a state of government lobby to regulate the use of cell phones that it is the parents' responsibility to keep up what their children are doing. Greetings, Daniel. How are you? No, preteens should not have smartphones. All right. Unlike GeoCities, uses static HTML5. Like GeoCities, uses static HTML5. Okay. Parents don't need to do crap, but the government has to. That's right. Well, what they didn't address here is that if it now basically under this new law, what they want to have happen is that when a person goes in to buy a phone, the phone carrier is supposed to ask, whom is this phone for? And then, is this for a minor or not? Of course, if you're saying, oh, well, this is for my 10-year-old child right here, then they're like, we can't sell you the phone. That's like buying cigarettes for your little child. Because they will be fined $500 to $20,000 under this law, should they get it passed, if a parent buys, not the parent, the store would get that fine if the parent buys the phone. So now all you simply do is you walk in, oh, no, this is my new phone. Why do I need two phones? Well, I mean, I have two smartphones. I have well, this one was a smartphone. I have two cell phones. Because one's a personal line, one's a business line. Oh, I'm just starting a new business. I need another line. Get home, hand the kid thing right over to my kid, and that's how you do it, And then now, so basically it seems to be more about data collection, more like a census thing. Who is using all of these smartphones that are being sold? That seems to be what's behind this here. But that's kind of what they're doing. All right, let's get back to this monstrosity. In fact, we're going to go back to the homepage because there's an article. Here's solid evidence, delays in speech development. Solid evidence. Now I know you're wrong because science can't prove anything. Did y'all know that? Like, I have a PhD in science. Let me tell you something. Some person that tells you that science has proven, they're automatically lying because science cannot prove anything. We can collect evidence under certain hypotheses, certain levels, certain engagements, but we cannot prove anything. There are hypotheses, there are theories, there are laws, etc. But we can't prove anything. But I really like this article here, this Bill Gates one. What was it? I got some guys decided to play outside my window, so that's cool. So you might hear, oh yeah, look at this. Oh, we have noticed you're using an ad blocker. Mr. iframe. Display none. Goodbye. All right, I'll get rid of that. All right. Billionaire tech mogul Bill Gates reveals he banned his children from smartphones until they turned age 14. I mean, look at this solid evidence right here. This is from the authority. This is from Bill Gates. Reading through the article, what you find is that Bill Gates is a good parent. Bill Gates is not saying we need to pass a law. Bill Gates is saying my children may not have a smartphone. And he even says right here, we have oftentimes set a time after which there is no screen time, and in that case, that helps them get to sleep at a reasonable hour. That's called good parenting. That's what we need. We need good parenting, people. We need good parenting. Oh, the kids moved on. I had like a kid out the window. I was going to ask him if he thinks smartphones should be legal under 13. I was going to ask him, but he's not there anymore. Bummer. All right. Oh. Okay, what's wrong with this page? Everything. Okay, this is like horrid. At least they gave us a little bit lighter background to clash with the magenta red text. And then these up here, if you can't see it, there's actually text up here. So if you squint really hard, you can actually see that light gray over light blue text. And then, oh, I just loved these testimonials here. My very active, intense, outgoing, joyful child turned into a quiet, non-engaged, angry, reclusive serial killer. No. Reclusive boy. This happened soon after he was given his first iPhone. He was buried in his phone constantly. It was disturbing to watch him engage with people, nature, and life. His natural childlike curiosity was gone. At what point in time, then, did you not take the phone away? Go back and read that Bill Gates article. He's a good parent. You're apparently not. So, I did what I thought was best. I took the phone away, finally. The most disturbing part is what followed. My 10-year-old son showed every sign of an addict to his cell phone. I'm trying to get it in my vein, man. Jeez. I'm a child psychologist in Ottawa, Canada. Like, why are we getting testimonies from somebody in Canada? No one else in the United States would believe this dribble? Oh, boy. I lost my son indirectly because of cell phones. He was the victim of a predator. What, were you not watching what he was doing? Oh, here's the phone. It's fully open and engaged to the internet. We have not blocked anything on here. Parent much? One-eyed babysitter didn't do a good job? Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Even an old phone without an active service, he can use it to access the web. Wait, I gotta read this whole thing from the beginning again. I tried hard to limit his phone usage, but always ran into two problems. First, the black market sells cell phones at schools. What? Like, I mean, I knew you go into the second stall in the boys' room on the east end of town and look underneath the toilet lid and you might find a bag there and you're supposed to slip the 10 up the side. But, I mean, really? Are there now black markets selling phones in schools? I have never heard of this. I'm looking it up. I'm looking it up. I have no clue. Black markets that sells phones in school. I gotta know. Kids create salt black markets in cafeteria. Well, that's interesting. Due to Michelle Obama's lunch rules, kids are selling their own salt. I don't want to be human anymore. Oh, Forbes. Never mind, Forbes. More schools are allowing to bring their kids. What was there a black market at your school? Wait, what? Black market your school that wasn't. Like, here's, like, halfway down the page, feds bust a worldwide smartphone thing theft in the Twin Cities. All right, I gotta consult this. Anybody on here? Do you guys have black? I mean, there's several minors on this thread right now. I mean, do y'all have black market cell phone black markets in your school? It's like, okay, if you ban this, every school's gonna have a black market on cell phones. It's better the parents know they got them. Piles of trash with viruses all over. Oh boy. Phones are just small computers that are single mobile data, texting, and calling. Maybe they should make a cell phone where you can call and text a nice easy keyboard, but nothing else. Hey, how about that phone on Diary of a Wimpy Kid on dog days? We got you a starter cell phone. It can call home and 911, and the home called like Joe's Pizza or something. Checking media, which mine is broken, sadly. Don't care if the computer didn't break. Bill Gates, a good parent. Yeah, well, I didn't say he wasn't the devil. I just said he was a good parent. Well, at least where cell phones are concerned. Getting my new one. Old one, though, this Friday. Okay, well, he has the money for it. Yeah. These guys beat flat themes and made new trend. Must be a computer right now. Website seems legit. Yes, smartphone should be legal at any age, but it's entirely up to the parent to decide because of the parent's choice, not the state's choice. What's wrong with going out and enjoying nature with the family and friends? I cannot understand. Bad website and bad parents here. I'm still looking. Let's see. Also, black markets near school selling cigarettes, which leads to smoking. Okay. Schools. MS had a device called Continuum to connect your Nokia smartphone to your monitor, an alternative to PC or laptop, which Telcor channel is he explaining? I don't know. This and the CIA Cherry Blossom product, I'm thinking of developing an ulcer. Nah. The black market might smell just sell sweets and jellies. Fidget spinner black markets. Oh boy. No black markets in my school that you know of. You should start a black market to sell Tails distros. Ooh. Let's see. Does not exist black markets for stolen smartphones, but I'm not aware of that they target children. Except if you count Polar sparkling waters as black market item. Black market bans something proof of black market for it. My nephew's school, the black market was his mother's prescriptions. Okay. Wish I was 13, could start a black market. Hey buddy, you have a cool stash. I mean, nice unlocked phones. Okay, so I have no idea what these people are talking about. Okay, even an old phone without active servers can be used to access the web, therefore all social media. 2, there are no phones to buy that can only be used as a phone. Yeah, I got one. Like, this is one of my 2 backup phones. I have another flip phone, a Samsung Convoy. It just makes phone calls. I think you can text with it, but it's a pain. Wow. So the reasons why parents who support cell phones they have not yet experienced too evil side. Did they hire somebody in India to write this? I pray no other parent is left with only memories and pictures as I am. Kids lack the maturity to deal with the ugly side of cell phone use age. Okay. Some kids have emotion or mental issues, making them more easily targeted, and bullying that occurs because of phones. A girl was convicted of manslaughter 3 days ago because of how she used her phone. Hey, Ryan. Yeah, that's your article, by the way. I'm wondering. I bet. Oh, grieving mom. How original. I bet that every one of these is fake. And I understand this. I've put together enough websites. I kind of wanted to build a little manual. I kind of want to build a little manual under an assumed name because I don't want it to potentially hurt my business, talking about all of the tricks that people do on websites. Like, if you ever see a website that has like a BBB A++ rating logo, yeah, it's crap. It's just an image. They download it from Google Images and threw it on their site. Testimonials, 99 out of 100 testimonials are completely made up. And of course, that's just 3 days ago. Isn't that convenient how it was just last week that they're referencing the 17-year-old girl. And if you weren't following that, I think Ryan probably is because he was in that town. But in that case, the 17-year-old was found guilty of second-degree manslaughter because she texted the 18-year-old. Now, FYI, this is a 17-year-old, almost 18-year-old texting an adult, an 18-year-old, and so it still is a different issue. However, they're still trying to play on this fear factor, and it's kind of garbage. All right, 12-year-old daughter was acting very defensive and refused to hand her phone like she was supposed to. I didn't want to invade her privacy. Okay, she's a 12-year-old girl out of control. Invade her privacy. It's for her protection. I can't read much more of this. This is mindless dribble. Ooh, look at all that space. Woohoo! Go website. All right, so here's how you can tell if you're in one of these states, apparently. If you got orange in your state, run for the hills. Buy your smartphones now. Stock up on them. Get a black market supply of unlocked smartphones. This is my favorite part of the site. Love it. Join/volunteer. A lot of reading material, apparently. Oh, of course, another one of these. What is this thing? Is this space the size? Like, look at how long this is. Here's your scroll bar. Okay, like a third of the website. If I donate anything to this guy, it's going to be donating him to get a better website. Then I'll put Black Hat STL all over it. I better make a law about those evil flip phones. I wish I could sell a phone, install a broken launcher. BlackBerry had a nice flip phone. They sold only on Verizon. It's definitely fake. I wouldn't be surprised if this was a bot. These people who wrote that website should stay away from the internet. Or just a parent in the organization making bogus stories. All right, who's going to make the dramatic stories about losing their son and their daughter to predators on their cell phones? Ooh, I'll do that one. I'll do that one. That sounds fun. Let's see. Those people who wrote that website should stay away from the... Okay, I read that one. It's all fear. They're trying to control people. How many BR tags do they use on that website? I don't know. Should we have a look at the code? Let's have a look at the code. Actually, let me do it this way. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Well, there's 8 individual empty div tag or paragraph tags there that are all strong. No. And then what's causing the rest of the space? I just don't know. I'd have to dig into that code a little bit further. That's kind of funny. No, it's not. So it's not BR tags. It's paragraph tags with strong indents in there. How many divs are in that website? I don't know. Great subjects you hit on. Bring up many good points I've thought about when I saw the website. Okay, it definitely was made in MS Paint. They didn't even go through the efforts to make decent graphic. They just backfill tool a generic US map. How many kids do these guys have? This guy, did he say he had 5 kids, I think? If I can get back up to the top of the page, we see his all-impressive resume down here. Father of 5, ages 11 to 19, and of course magna cum laude and medical school and all this kind of stuff. Can't run Linux on my machine anymore. Bummer. Why not? All right. Well, that was fun making fun of them for a little bit. What are my thoughts? Of course, if you follow my channel, you know where I lie. I'm certainly not a I'm certainly not a libertarian. I agree that some things should be illegal. And I also happen to believe with a lot of their statements that cell phones in the hands of kids that are too young oftentimes is more detrimental than it is positive. I agree with that completely. But I also agree that some people are more mature and some people are less mature. I agree that some people have a greater necessity to have a smartphone. Some people have less. I think that stupid is not illegal. And parents have the right to be stupid and not think about what their kids are doing and not monitor what their kids are doing. And welcome to America. We have freedoms, we have choices. If you choose not to monitor your child and you give your child a cell phone too young, and that child is not capable of handling a cell phone that's too young, you're gonna reap the fruit of that, and that's going to be a bad thing for you. And so you need to keep that perspective in mind. That I agree with the general thing that we definitely need a little bit more education. Maybe some education. I don't think education solves problems though. And I remember being in grad school, and I was mentoring an undergrad at the time, and he was in a debate class, and they were debating, should the drinking age be lowered to 18 from 21 here in America. And he was assigned the position to debate and say, yes, drinking age should be lowered. And so we got talking to it. I said, well, class aside, I said, what is, I remember that kid's name now. I can't remember his name now. I said, that your class aside, what's your honest views of this? And he says, I think that we just need more education. I said to him, we have lots of education. We have too much education, and it's not helping. I said, the problem is that these issues are not a matter of education. These issues are a matter of the heart. Thinking is only part of it, but the heart is the other part. Why is it we do not need to train our kids how to lie and cheat and steal? Well, because it's inherently part of our nature. Okay. And the same thing kind of goes with these devices and things. I have watched people fall into the depths of hell on earth because of these smartphones, social media websites. In fact, I remember one family, I remember when their kids, they had 4 kids, and when their kids were real little, they were a family that they had a little TV, not much more than a little TV and nothing else. But then what happened is they got a bigger TV and they got an Xbox for the first time. This is back when the first Xbox, before it was Xbox 360. And I observed, as soon as I known the kids long enough, that I observed what had happened. I observed what had happened when they got the Xbox. And I said to them, since you got the Xbox, your kids are really acting out a whole lot more aggressively. And the parents actually thought, they told me later, they kind of thought I was being a jerk. Until not even a week later, their teacher in school told them the same thing. And they're like, okay, 2 people in a week are telling us that. What's the change? Well, the change is they got an Xbox and a bigger TV, and their kids were playing a lot of digital games. Well, that same family, I used to go over there, and we used to play board games or cards or talk or socialize or do things. The last time I was over there, every member of the family now has their own phone, and after dinner, they didn't move their plates. They moved them. They slid their plates aside. They all got out their phones, and they sat there playing games on their own phones. The husband, the wife, the 4 kids. Now, I don't actually have any games on my phone. My smartphone is a tool. It is not a time waster. It is not a distraction. I have the minimum amount of apps. I have some reading apps, so I can read books if I'm out and about and have a spare few minutes. I have my Bibles, which I read on here. I can check my, obviously, phone calls, text messages, and emails on here, and basic mobile internet as I'm on the go. That's what I use my phone for. I don't have anything else on there that wastes my time. And so I'm sitting in there, and everyone else in the family is just glued to their own phone. And I'm just like, okay, I gotta go. This is crazy. This is insane. And that family has moved from a place where they used to be they used to be the type of people I like to hang out with, but then they kind of became these pure consumer buying into the culture, everything, just constantly distracted by their phones. And that was a problem for them. Now, they were good. They never let their kids have phones before 13, thank God. And didn't even let them have Facebook accounts until they were 13. But they were good parents in that they did regulate a little, to a small degree, what their kids did on devices. But that's the ultimate thing. This is not something that is a law. This is something we should raise a lot of awareness to. We should raise a ton of awareness on this stuff. We should let people know that it is dangerous under many circumstances to give a phone. And we should realize that this thing here, not only does this provide the kid access to the world, this thing here provides the world access to your kid. And if you would not want the world to have access to your kid, you need to figure out how to lock this down or not give it to them. But even more important, it's not about, what are the words I'm using here? And this is a strategy I used with a kid that I mentored. I still mentor him. He was, I think, 12 or 13 when I started mentoring the kid. But we talked about the difference between accountability and what was the other word I was using? I used two specific words with him. And the philosophy was, in one instance, we're monitoring you to discipline you, to make sure you're not doing anything. But on the other hand, we're holding you accountable to make sure that you're not doing things that are detrimental to you. And when he first got an iPod and first got a cell phone, not only myself, but his family is an awesome family. And his family would monitor, and I would monitor what he was doing and how he was behaving and how he was interacting. And it was a maturity thing. Now, in his case, he doesn't care for all of the, games and all that other fun stuff with cell phones. He's a mature person. But that's the thing we need to get to, is teaching the parents that this thing is not just, hey, you have a phone now, great, I can call you. This thing will give the world access to your child, and you need to learn how to properly lock it down. We don't need laws about this stuff. And their law, what they're proposing, is just a complete, total waste of legislation. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. It's a waste entirely. Ultimately, it comes down to this. Be better parents. Be better parents, because you guys aren't being good parents. That's ultimately the issue there. And that's kind of that thing that you need to look into and say, okay, what is the thing that we're doing here? Because that's where we are. So those are kind of my thoughts on this whole matter. It is a bad idea, in my opinion, for a kid this young to have a smartphone under most cases. But it's definitely not something we should write a law against. It's not something that we should fine a store against. It's not, it's not, I got news for you. Okay. See if I can find this quote real quick. It's as much as we like to say, big, bad, evil companies doing big, bad, evil things. The fact of the matter is, I'm still learning how to use this app. I'm not using my Kindle anymore, and no, that's not it. There's a spot where I could pull out quotes. There it is. I've not transferred all my quotes over yet. Of course, by now I've lost my train of thought. I forgot what I was trying to pull in. I was going to trying to find a quote from Wall, and it looks like I do not yet have it in here. Yet. I'm still migrating my quotes over from my Kindle over onto this. But ultimately, it's not as much as on, I talk a lot about privacy. I talk a lot about a lot of companies do a lot of bad things, but ultimately, it's our decisions. I have decided not to buy Netflix. I have decided not to buy Hulu. I've decided not to buy Amazon Prime. That is me. And that is you. And that is what you need to do. So the reason why big, bad, evil corporate CEO flies around on 15 private jets is because everybody flocked to buy what he was selling. He earned it. He earned it off your backs. That's fine. I have no problem with that. But with these phones and with these devices, it's not the company's fault if a kid gets lost in his screen. It's the parent's fault for not teaching the kid how to use that tool accurately. And it's not just a matter of, no, you may not have that, period. It's a matter of, we're going to get one, and we're going to very slowly integrate this appropriately into your life. That's what we need to do. This law that they're trying to do is crap. It's garbage. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. It's a waste of legislation. Your kid was lost in his own mind because you were a bad parent and gave your son, who was too young and not mature enough, a phone. That's on you. Don't try and force that and normalize that for the rest of the country, because you're just going to make the problem worse. Promise. It's just going to happen. Well, let's have a look at another look at the comments over here. Where's my comment thread go? There's my comment thread. There we are. All right. Manjaro, cinnamon. Looks like we're sick of talking about cell phones here. We're on to Manjaro and cinnamon. At least men in white coats were good to me. Using ArchLab Linux. Little TV to big TV. Here, ArchLabs is great, no doubt. Never tried ArchLabs. First TV was black and white, and it was for my dad's Sage. Your dad had a Sage? Cool. Let me play Clash of Clans on my phone when I'm bored. Nice. All right. I know a 56-year-old woman who is addicted to her smartphone. Her face is always buried in email, Facebook, and web pages in it. Yeah. Manjaro isn't for everybody. Nothing wrong with that. Yep. Can't imagine what prolonged phone use could be doing to people's necks. Yeah. We'll figure that out in about 10, 15 years. This person's just... The phones will definitely make things worse. Addiction is a serious issue. Phone addiction, I'm not denying phone addiction exists. Bunch of people advocating laws on others. Yep. Actually, if you want to know the number one addiction, at least as of 10, 15 years ago, the number one addiction was actually running. No, don't be too mad. I'm not completely against phones. Absolutely not. Unless it's Jesus, but I'm biased being a Christian. Yeah. Even in Christianity though, you can let service for God overrun your relationship with God. And you can literally get addicted to doing so many ministries that you fall over and collapse for not being close enough with God, because we need to learn to spend more time with Him. Not He's more concerned about our relationship with Him than He is our how many check marks did we do about service towards Him. So it's bigger in singular session. I'm not addicted to anything but my house. Because my video graphics card not supported yet. There should be some Linux distros that can do that. Many people do not realize that you do not have to have a cell phone. Yeah. My brother doesn't have a cell phone. It's shocking how many phone numbers he remembers. Got a good spirit and a good soul. Well, thank you, Piggy Uniform. I appreciate that. So do you, man. Alright, I was going to suggest looking into hanging your graphics card since Linux modules might not have made it to the update stream yet. AMG. So I have no problem with it, but I am advising people do not get a NVIDIA graphics card for Linux. Didn't you see that fun Linus Torvalds and NVIDIA 15-second YouTube video? I'm not going to pull it up here. Search it. You'll have fun. Linus Torvalds, NVIDIA. Just do that search on YouTube. You'll get a hoot. This government has designated a named person to monitor the welfare of every child in Scotland. I'm scared, Mommy. There's a government employee spying on me. I saw him looking in my windows last night. That's scary. See you later. Alright, AMD does fully support their cards. AMG or plug and pray. Remember when it was called plug and pray? You plugged in and pray it worked? First time something like this has happened, and it won't be the last. This is clearly a generational problem. Yeah. Yeah, in fact, there was a quote I heard not too long ago, and it was something to the effect of anything that was made since you were, anything that was made since you were born. Let's see, what was it? Anybody help me out with this quote? If it was made before you were born, it's old technology. If it was made when you were born, it's perfect technology. If it was made after you were born, it's the devil. That's what the quote was. All right. We've reached the bottom of the comments, and I think I'm going to have a jump off here. So thanks for hanging out, everybody. Sorry for the bumpy start to the stream. I'm going to try and get the thumbnail fixed and the tags uploaded here shortly after I'm done. But with that, hey, thanks for hanging out, everybody, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.